After decades in courtrooms and across negotiating tables, one old lawyer shares the quiet truth he's learned. Success isn't about fixing everything, it's about using what already works. In this heartfelt episode, he reflects on the power of focusing on your strengths and how that simple shift can lead to a life of meaning, confidence, and growth. If this story inspired you, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Lesson and Laughter for more reflections from a life well lived. Your journey to mindfulness and purpose starts here. All right, Mr. Lawyer, now the floor is yours.
Great, thank you. I'm ready to start. You know, I spent over 40 years in courtrooms, watching people try to prove they're right, fix what went wrong, defend their flaws, or hide them altogether. Somewhere along the way, I started wondering, why do we spend so much time patching up the parts of ourselves that don't shine, when we could be building sanctuaries with the parts that do? Now, don't get me wrong, there's merit in improvement. You've got to know where you fall short, especially when it matters. If you're a surgeon, you better fix that shaky hand. If you're a driver, learn to check your blind spot. But most of the time, we're not failing because of one glaring weakness. We're just ignoring what we're already good at. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I had a junior associate named Benjamin. Smart kid, sharp memory. But every partner criticized him for being too quiet in meetings. They told him to speak up more, take the floor. He tried, fumbled, stuttered, felt small. One day I pulled him aside and said, "Ben, what if your strength isn't being the loudest voice, but being the one who listens best?" He leaned into that, became the guy who noticed what no one else did, the one who caught the details that won cases. Eventually, he led a team, not by talking over others, but by helping them think clearer. His so-called weakness, it never went away. But his strength, it turned him into a leader. What I've learned is this: when you invest your energy in what lights you up, you glow a little brighter. You walk differently. People feel it, you feel it, and that confidence, it creates momentum. That momentum builds discipline, and discipline, well, that builds a life. Here's the catch: the world doesn't always reward this way of thinking. We're constantly told to be more balanced, more well-rounded, but a sharp tool doesn't need to be round, it just needs to cut clean. So here's a little advice from an old lawyer. Know your weaknesses, but don't live in them. Acknowledge your flaws, but don't build your house there. Instead, find the thing you do well and do it better than anyone else in the room. I've seen people waste years chasing the ghost of perfection only to overlook the gold they were sitting on the whole time. And I've seen people who chose to dig deep into their strengths and create legacies that spoke louder than any resume ever could. Now, take a moment. Think about your life. Where have you been trying to fix what's broken instead of building on what's strong? Maybe it's time to shift your focus, because your strengths, they're not just traits, they're signposts, pointing toward the kind of person you were always meant to become. Thanks for spending a few quiet minutes with me today. If this gave you something to think about, I'd love to see you again. Until then, be kind to yourself. You're doing better than you think.